What's up, y'all? It's your boy E Bay. Fight predictions in the building, and I'll be breaking down Islam Makhachev versus Thiago Moisés, the Vegas 31 main event. Really good fight right here. It was supposed to be what's his face, Max Holloway and Yair Rodriguez were supposed to main event this card, and yeah, it didn't end up working out that way. But it is what it is, man. Really good main event here. I can't wait for it, and it's a really good fight. And the fact that these two lightweights that are surging to try to make the top 10 or the top 5, getting 5 rounds is like, a really good opportunity, good experience, and I'm happy for both of them. Both guys have, really proven a lot with these, especially Moisés last year. 2020 and even 2021, he killed it. And then same thing with Makhachev, more like 2000. It's been a minute since he's fought. It takes a long time to actually, compete. But it is what it is. There's not really much of a story here. Maybe AK versus American Top Team. Islam trying to prove how good he is and trying to prove the hype. Moisés using this as an opportunity to get his name known. He's riding a 3-fight win streak. Nothing really crazy right here, besides the fact that maybe some people feel like Islam is the next, Khabib, and, people are trying to write that off, and, it is what it is. I don't necessarily believe that, but I do think Islam is decent. I don't think he's a bad fighter, but, hey, you never know. Maybe Moisés might expose him. But let's get to the stats, man. In terms of rankings, man, Tapology got them ranked really high. They got Islam Makhachev ranked number 6 in the world, which is crazy. But if you go in the UFC official rankings, their website, pretty good website, because it's official. Let me exit out of there. All right, let's go back. Islam Makhachev is number 9, and Moisés is number 14. So really good spot for him. I think they put him in the rankings because he was fighting Islam. I think that's the only reason he made the rankings. I'm just no disrespect to Moisés. He does deserve to be in the rankings, but that's one of the reasons. But besides that, let's look at the records. Islam is 1901, is fighting out of Russia, age 29, a height of 5'10", and a reach of 70.5. Moisés, 15-4, he is from Brazil, but he's fighting out of Florida, age 26, a height of 5'9", and a reach of 75.5. So, really good things right here. Nothing really stands out. Islam is a little taller, but besides that, the reach is the exact same. Islam is older. I would say, Islam has more UFC experience and has more fights in general. But, he only has one more fight than him. Not really a lot. But I feel like he's been in the game a lot longer and has been doing this a lot longer. You know what I'm saying? He's been training a lot longer. That's what I would say. But we're going to see, what it comes down to. But in terms of notable wins, if we look at a guy like Moisés, man, he really shocked me. In terms of just notable opponents, Hernandez, Bobby Green, Michael Johnson, and then if you go really, when I started to notice him is when he had that Gleason cutest head kick victory in the first round on the Contender Series. I was like, oh snap. Then they throw him to the wolves, which is crazy. They threw him to the wolves. He fights Beneil Dariush. This Beneil fight's very it's for real, you know what I'm saying? Like it goes a lot for, if your side Islam, this kind of goes your way. This is something you really want to look at. But Beneil dominated. He, there wasn't anything like, Moisés did. He didn't do anything in there. He got dominated. Now, Beneil is the number 3 lightweight in the world, so I guess we can, give Moisés some, like, I don't know. Man, I can't even think for a second. I pass, right? We can give him a pass for that. That's what I was thinking about. But man, he got dominated. Like every takedown Beneil wanted, he took him down. But with this fight against Islam, it is a 5-round fight. It's not a 3-round fight, so it is what it is. Then he beats Kurt Holobal. Then he fights Demir Ismagulov, and then Demir is, a great fighter. So no shame in that. Demir is so well rounded. He had his way with him, but ever since that Demir loss, he fights Michael Johnson. And the Michael Johnson fight, the guy was getting lit up in the first round. Lit up bad. And he overcame that, and he did his thing. He really came back, and I was shocked. I was like, yo, how is this guy still alive? And he went for that ankle lock in the second round right away, basically took him down real quick, and what's it called, submitted him. And I was just like shocked. I was like, yo, how did he do that? But I kind of, y'all know me, I like Michael Johnson, so I kind of had some hate for Moisés for a little bit. But you have to respect him. His most recent fight, I ended up respecting him. Then he fights Bobby Green. This is a bit controversial. A lot of people felt like Green won this fight. Here's my thing with the Green. The Green makes these fights too close. He was really raised. Even a lot of people forget Bobby Green's fight against Clay Guida was super close. And everyone calls me crazy for saying that, but I'm still gonna hold on to that. That fight was super close. But yeah, it is what it is. At the end of the day, he got the win. A lot of people were pissed off. They said it was a robbery. I don't think it was a robbery. I just thought it was a really close fight, and maybe Green could have edged it, but I think I had no problem with them giving it to Moisés. Then he fights Alexander Hernandez. I picked against him. I thought Hernandez was gonna light him up, and he had a phenomenal performance. I thought Hernandez edged the first round, but he did really good at the end of that first round, so you could give him 3-0. I gave Hernandez the first round. The next two I gave it to Moisés. Moisés put the pressure, and he had this crazy moment where he's yelling at Hernandez saying, come on, let's bang, bro, let's bang. And he's talking crazy to Hernandez. So I was like, yo, this dude's nuts. But I gave him a lot of credit for saying that. And he ended up winning the fight, and he looked amazing, and I think people started putting some respect, and I was like, okay, Moisés is for real, man. He is no joke. And he asked for a ranked opponent, and now he has a ranked opponent in Islam. But if we look at a guy like Islam in terms of notable wins, you really gotta, man, there's a lot, right? He's been in the UFC for a minute, right? He's been in the UFC since 2015, so it's been a minute. You look at Nick Lentz, Gleason Tebow, Armin Sarukian, Davi Ramos, and Drew Dober. So those are, I would say, some of his better wins. Nick Lentz win, it's a good win, right? It's not a bad, he's a vet. Obviously, it's nothing like crazy special, but it's a good win, right? In terms of bad losses, now it's hard to say this was a bad loss, because you look at the guy's record, Adriano Martins. At the time, he's 27-7, right? So I wonder what his record is right now. Yeah, he's 28-11. So he hasn't really won. Only won one time since that fight against what's his face, since Islam. But in there, it was. I watched the fight. Nothing really happened besides just the what's it called? The cross right counter. He caught him with it, and Islam really didn't do anything besides some feints and some punches that he threw at the air, basically. Martins caught him. He's 23 years old. Now he's like 29. It's hard to judge him off of this loss. Yeah, can he be knocked out? Yeah. Does Moisés have that power? I don't know. Is Adrian Martins a Brazilian and Moisés is a Brazilian? Yeah. Did they both come out of American Top Team? Yeah. So those are the things, I kind of look at them like, oh man, that kind of makes me like cringe a little bit. But I just honestly feel like Islam has grown since that, and I think Islam's on a good trajectory to being a decent, solid contender. I think I think it's crazy to say that he's a future champ or whatever. I think that's like that's just a bit of a stretch. But the kid's good. He's a good fighter, and I don't think it's fair to judge him off of this. The Gleason Tebow victory, he knocked him out. Like, he took him out of there. The Armin Sarukian victory, I think this is not going to look like that fight. Armin kind of made his name off of this fight. Armin, he got takedowns. He was very competitive, but Islam ended up winning. It was 28-29, and it really was going back and forth, and it was a really, really good fight. A lot of people love Arman, so it is what it is. Then he fights Davi Ramos. I feel like this is what this fight's gonna look like, the Moisés fight, and I that's what I think it's gonna resemble. I could be wrong, but that's what I think. I just feel like Davi, he didn't really have a lot for Islam, and Islam was just kind of able to strike with him a little bit, and then when he got him to the ground near the third, he kind of had a lot of success. That's what I think it's gonna look like with Thiago. I think they're both gonna strike a little bit. I would say Thiago is the better striker, but he's had moments where he's been lit up, so I don't know how well he's gonna look against Islam. He could have one of those days where he looks like Hernandez, or he could have that day where he looked like in the Michael Johnson fight, just getting lit up. So you never know. I think they're gonna parry, throw feints at each other, and I think when it gets to the ground, I think it's gonna look like this. I think Thiago's just gonna survive, and I think Islam's just gonna be a wet blanket in there. But besides the Davi Ramos fight, he won that fight, and I think the fight that got Islam this crazy hype was the Drew Dober fight. Dober was coming off victories over Hernandez. He beat someone else too. Oh, what's the cat's name? I forgot. The little Kelvin Gastelum's little brother. I forgot his name. What's his name? Oh man, how did I forget that dude's name? Yeah, Nasrat Hashcroft. Yeah, so he came off those. Hey, the Nasrat win was. I thought that was a better win than Hernandez one, because that Nasrat kid had some hype. But yeah, Dober was coming off those two victories. I thought a lot of people looked at Dober like he had some potential to knock him out. He had really good power. He has a good counter, right? Sometimes he throws a rear hook. Dober looked amazing against Brad Riddell, a guy that a multiple time Muay Thai kickboxing champion, and he was out there hurting him and going toe to toe with him in the feet. And it's crazy because Dober's he started off as a wrestler. He was a high school. Obviously, he's not a college. He was a high school wrestler. I'm not saying he was a crazy good wrestler, but Dober, he started off as a wrestler in high school, and for him to become that good as a striker and compete with Rydell, I was really impressed. And for Islam, I was impressed with how Islam took care of him. I was like, okay, that's a good performance for Islam. Good one in the bank. I don't see future champ. I do not see future champ though. I think I need to see more. Even if he beats Moisés, I don't see. For instance, for me, like I don't. I know some people are gonna get mad at me, but like, what's the difference between him and Demir? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think he's that much more. He's that more impressive than Demir Ismagulov. So that's how I kind of look at it. And I think Islam is still a prospect. He's in contention. He's ranked in the top 10, but I don't know if he needs to. I feel like he needs to be another marquee name. But back to this matchup, I kind of gave it away. I kind of think Islam, beats Thiago. I don't think Thiago is the guy. I think if Islam, he fought a guy like a Gregor Gillespie and he dominated him in the wrestling, right? I would actually give him a lot of credit for that. I don't think, maybe Islam could knock Gregor out, but I don't think Islam can out wrestle Gregor. I think Gregor would give him problems in the wrestling. I think that's a matchup he needs to fight. A lot of the Dagestani people and a lot of the people in Russia think, the wrestling is, the most superior, right? Well, why don't you fight in a great credential wrestler instead of some jiu-jitsu guy? And that's how I feel about Thiago. I saw what I need to see in the Demir and the Benil Dariush fight. He's gonna sit and guard. He's gonna look for submissions, and when he can't find them, he's gonna just get pounded on. And I think Islam's gonna stand on top of him. Honestly, Thiago has a better chance in the stand-up, but that's basically for everyone. If anyone can land a lucky punch, that's, I think, Thiago's last prayer. Thiago is a better offensive wrestler. He hasn't shown a lot of good defensive skills, but I'm just saying, like, obviously the good thing on him is I don't think he's that good, but I think his coaches and his gym is great. So for them, the coaching staff has to look at it from a perspective. They're gonna have to use, sprawl and brawl, and basically sprawl and box this kid up. They can't afford to throw kicks because Islam's gonna catch him and turn him into takedowns. He's gonna have to box this kid up and find those openings, because Islam, he goes forward and he throws. He has a decent kickboxing. stand-up skill, very rudimentary. Nothing bad, nothing really sloppy, I would say. But he has moments where it looks like there's levels, right? Levels below, by the way, not levels above. Levels below of his opponent. So if Thiago can find those openings and maybe get Islam tired, we haven't seen Islam go 5 rounds, so he has a chance, right? But besides that, I just think Islam is gonna have a field day. I'm actually predicting a 4th round TKO. I think Thiago's gonna stay tough for like 3 rounds, and when he reaches that 4th, I don't think he's gonna take anymore, and I think he's gonna get pounded out. But I will say this: I really do believe Islam Makhachev, and Islam, he's an AKA boy, so that's the only reason I'm really, really picking him right now. But when this AKA boy goes up against an American wrestler, and I'm Team America. That's when I leave. That's when I leave AKA. I remember, I'll never forget when Khabib fought Gaethje, and people were like, "Oh, are you gonna stick with the American wrestler in Gaethje?" And I'm like, "Bro, that dude's not a wrestler." Like, come on, bro, what is wrong with you? He's not a wrestler. Like, in no shape and form is he I consider him a wrestler. He stopped wrestling after college. That's how I look at him. But Gregor, that's a fight to make. Honestly, I truly believe, and I think AKA, they know better. They don't want that smoke, and I don't got no problem with it. But trying to fight Tony Ferguson, trying to fight all these guys, it's like, you don't deserve that. But I like this, though, for Islam. I think Islam is doing the right moves. He's not acting like Kazmat Chimaev and asking for these other fights. It's a little different with Islam, but the hype is a little, y'all should calm down. But, hey, he's training at the greatest gym of all time. So, it is what it is. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to follow me on my Instagram, my Twitter. Like, comment, subscribe. What else? Go click the notification button, share this video, and yeah, let's get this eBay Fight Prediction Nation growing. Love y'all, and goodbye.
Islam, wow, Yeezys, brother, Yeezys, wow, yo, Islam, Yeezys, let's go.